Hello friends, SentinalH here, and welcome back to our Techguns tutorial series. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the melee weapons of Techguns. In the previous episode, we looked at how to build and use the chemical laboratory, which we're going to need to build the chainsaw. And we're also going to take a look then at the power hammer, which doesn't require the chemical lab for that, but you do need the chemical lab in order to create its ammo. So let's get started. Now, you've seen me use the chainsaw to kill some zombies that got annoying. It's quite a nice melee weapon, and I died to it in my the old Let's Play on the server that's now not existent. In order to craft the chainsaw, you will require, let's get rid of all that, 4 mechanical parts, 2 iron plates, and of course these can be from Techguns or Immersive Engineering or any other mod that really has these sort of iron plates because they're dictionaried in. Plastic sheets, 1 of them, an iron receiver, and a fuel tank. It can be either empty or full, and if it's empty, then obviously the one you craft will be empty. However, if it's full, the one you craft will be full. Right? And you can tell on the side of the fuel tank whether it's empty or full because the empty one has this sort of, it's gray on the side, and the full one, it's got the yellow gasoline on the side there. Even though I don't think gasoline is actually yellow, although it might be with impurities, who knows. So that's how you make the chainsaw. Now, in order to use the chainsaw, you need these fuel tanks. So, in order to craft fuel tanks, you need a block of glass and 2 plastic sheets. That gives you 4 fuel tanks. Now, the plastic sheets themselves, how do you make those? Well, you're going to need the chemical laboratory. Alright, this one right here I have set up for making plastic sheets. In order to make plastic, you need to have oil. Alright? Now, oil comes primarily from Buildcraft, the Buildcraft mod. So you're probably going to want to have Buildcraft installed along with Techguns so that you have a source of oil. So, you'll need oil for this, is what I'm saying. So make sure you have a mod in that adds oil if you're putting mods in manually. Techguns designed to be alongside other mods. It doesn't include all of the stuff it needs. So if you don't have oil, you're not going to be able to do this. So you'll need oil, and then you'll need one of a couple of different things. It depends on what mods are in your game. Techguns raw rubber can be used. You can also use balls of glue from Tinker's Construct, apparently. So it might change depending on what mod you have installed, but this raw rubber will always be useful. In the previous episode, we looked at how to make raw rubber. Chemical lab, it's just water and wood logs. Now take your raw rubber, and with a tank full of oil in your chemical lab, place it in this slot, and the chemical lab will begin to operate with its really cool liquid flowing animations that are really neat. I like it. Take that out of there. And you'll get raw plastic, right? Now what you need to do is take that raw plastic and smelt it into a plastic sheet. I actually got rid of my furnace, stupidly. So we'll just throw that down. Coal, plastic, and that will smelt, get here. That will smelt into a plastic sheet. Although it would kind of make more sense for you to have to process this with heat. They didn't want you to have to use the metal press as well. But so there you go, plastic sheets. It's 1-to-1 with raw plastic. So there you go. Now that you know how to make plastic sheets, you can make the chainsaw and you can make the fuel tank. So let's take a look at the stats of the chainsaw. The fuel tank holds 300 total fuel for the chainsaw. As you can see down there, it's currently got 250. Because it takes down your fuel whenever you hit something. So if I just use the left click or the much louder right click, it doesn't take any fuel until I actually hit an enemy with it. Now the question is, can we chop down a tree with it? Well, I'm in creative mode, so I can't really test that. So let's go game mode 0. No, / game mode 0. And yes, the answer is Yes, you can use the chainsaw as a chainsaw. But not the right click, just the left click. It seemed. Yeah, just the left click. There you go. And we can see that it uses... Oh, it just uses one. One fuel per block. This is pretty nice, really. A nice use of the chainsaw. I'm glad that the chainsaw isn't just a weapon, it's also a tool. So there you go. So it uses one per block of wood that you chop if you use it as a chainsaw. As a weapon, we'll take a look in a moment. Now, the chainsaw itself, if we look at it, its damage type is physical. It does 10 damage with a range of 2 at all. It's not a ranged weapon, it's melee, range of 2. And a clip size of 300. It takes 2.25 seconds to reload. And it's got an armor penetration rate of 25%. Alright, so you can see in basic Minecraft terms, it's got plus 12 attack damage. So this chainsaw is really good. It's got a lot of damage to it. We're going to go back to creative mode before we go down to the zombies, because there's going to be tons of them and I'll die without it. So if we look at how much damage this deals, one click on this zombie soldier who has 13 armor points dealt 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5 hearts of damage. So 3 clicks will kill these guys. 2 clicks will kill those guys, depending on their armor values. You know, if we were attacking someone with basically no armor, like the zombie farmer, it's 2 clicks. Now, as we can see, clicking on it takes down again 1 fuel per click. Now, if we right click, we get like a rapid fire attack. And actually, you know, that didn't seem to take any fuel, which might not be intentional. I'm not sure. So the right click doesn't seem to be using up any fuel, which is very interesting. But as you can see, it takes 2 to 3 clicks to kill most of those zombies, depending on their armor rating. If we go ahead and go to miscellaneous and get ourselves a spider, and we spawn down a spider, it's also 2 clicks. Or very quickly with the right click. So the chainsaw is very good. It deals a lot of melee damage, and you can use it to chop down trees. Sweet. Now let's take a look at the power hammer. Now, if you've played Unreal Tournament, the Unreal Tournament series, you're probably very familiar with the power hammer. It's taken directly from Unreal Tournament. It works exactly the same way. I remember playing the original Unreal Tournament and loving it. I played the heck out of that game back in the day. Fantastic. I loved it. And so the power hammer was pretty funny. So, in order to craft the power hammer, you're going to need a piston, 2 mechanical parts, an iron plate, an iron receiver, and a compressed air tank. So it's very, very cheap to make. Go away. And there was a little demonstration of the right click. In order to use it, you need compressed air. Again, if you have a full compressed air tank in this recipe, it'll be full. Compressed air tanks are crafted using 7 iron plates and a lever, and that gives you 7 tanks. So you get a lot of tanks for the recipe. So each tank holds 300 ammo for the power hammer, right? Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention how to fill those fuel tanks. You use the chemical lab. So you fill a chemical lab with gasoline and stick an empty fuel tank in it, and it'll be filled with gasoline. There you go. It's the same with the compressed air tanks. You use the chemical lab to do it. I don't actually have any empty ones, so let's go ahead and use this recipe. All you need to do to fill a compressed air tank is you need water in your chemical lab and then coal. I don't really know how that works or why, but that's how we're doing it. Compressed air tank. And you're seeing me now using this power hammer. So let's talk about the stats that it's got on it. So the power hammer uses compressed air. I'll get away from that. The power hammer uses compressed air tanks as its fuel. Deals physical damage, deals 2.5 damage with a range of 3, 3, and 2, clip size of 300, reload time of 2 1/4, plus 6 attack damage. Now, the damage value that it lists is for the left click. Okay? When you left click, you do 2.5 hearts of damage. When you hold down the right click and charge it up, you deal significantly more. It's just, and the longer you hold it, the more damage. It's exactly the same as Unreal Tournament. If you hold it down all the way, you can deal a lot of damage and kill things in one hit. Again, it's weird. The right click doesn't seem to be using any ammo. See, I did 25 damage just right there. 25 damage there. It almost becomes a ranged weapon when you right click. Because what it does is it fires like a bolt. Not very much extra range. But it does have a bit of extra range when you right click. 12 there. 25. 12. 20. 25. Come on, it's hard to hit moving targets. But there you go. 25 damage seems to be the maximum that the Power Hammer's right click can deal. Which should allow you to one-hit most things, or right click and then left click. So let's spawn a spider. And it takes 3 left clicks to kill the spider. But if we use the right click, we can one-shot it. So the Power Hammer is a really powerful melee weapon. You just gotta wait a few how long would you say that charge time was? About a second and a half, maybe 2 seconds? I'm going to say that's about 2 seconds to charge it. Now you can hold the charge. Okay, I'm holding right click and it holds. So you can pre-charge this, run around with it, and then whack things. But as soon as you let go, it'll fire off. But the right click doesn't seem to be using any ammo, which is weird. I don't know if there are any other uses for this. I don't know if you can... Get out of here. Nah. Well, it seems to break dirt really quickly. The problem with the Revolution Pack is that because it's not a shovel, the dirt turns into these stupid Kendrill things. But if you didn't have that Kendrill thing, you could, I think, use this as a shovel. Let's go let's go check this out on some sand, and we'll see if I'm not crazy. Definitely not crazy. This thing can be used as a very fast shovel. Which is great. It means that these aren't just weapons, they actually have a functional purpose. So, if you want a shovel that will dig things in one click, then you can also always use the Power Hammer. And the ammo is very cheap, as we can see. It's just a little bit of coal and water, so it's nothing. It's basically free. So yeah, that's the Power Hammer and the Chainsaw, the 2 melee weapons in Techguns. I do not believe that Techguns has any other melee weapons. If I look through here really quickly... Nope, that's a grenade. So yeah, it doesn't have any other melee weapons except, I don't know, anything. Yeah, there's no more melee weapons. So that's it. Those are the melee weapons. They're also tools. So that's pretty sweet, I think. Alright, so I hope you've enjoyed this episode. In the next episode, we're going to look at some more guns. I wanted to cover these 2 things and get them done with, and right after we got plastic seemed like the best time. So now in the next episode, we're going to talk about some more higher level guns that you're going to need plastic for, And you're also going to need the metal press and obsidian steel and whatnot. So you need to use the metal press some more. So stay tuned for that. I hope you're enjoying the series. Please join the Discord if you're at all interested. It's a lot of fun. Don't forget to like the video and comment down below if you have any questions. And just thanks for watching the videos. I really appreciate it. I'm SentinalH, and I'm signing out.